Imagine a scenario with two major world-class professional wrestling companies touring the United States, promoting shows weekly, with thousands attending and millions watching at home. Difficult to imagine? It may not have to be. That was real life in 2001. Back then, 15 years ago, WWE was joined by WCW on the US pro wrestling landscape. Ask your dad. Unless he tries to tell you that the NWA was much better than WCW, in which case ignore him and Google it instead. Times were good in the late 1990s, but in 2001 tragedy struck. WCW died. Some say abruptly, some say it was a long time coming. Many have been blamed for its death. Was it Vince Russo? Was it Kevin Nash? Did Vince McMahon sabotage WCW? We don't know what the real killer truly was. It remains a mystery. But what if the real killer is still out there, hiding for years, away from the main stage? I want you to imagine a ruler of the world. If that ruler decided the world had to end. What if Sid did it? Hello and welcome to Shake Them Ropes, episode 81. Rob McCarron, Jeff Hawkins with his face in his palm. First time you heard that, huh, Jeff?
You are so wrong about the NWA.
Excuse me. Excuse me now.
I will kill a man for saying such a thing.
That was the first teaser that we in a limited fashion released last week. The first teaser for the upcoming super not so secret WCW 2001 podcast project at Voices of Wrestling and Shake Them Ropes. That was teaser number 1. Teaser number 2 will be at the end of this episode.
Oh.
It will
Am I going to be a part of this? I haven't been asked to be, so I guess I'm not, but that's okay too.
You're going to be, you're going to be the red team. You're going to be the guy at the end who we show everything to, and you say if it's a go or not.
Oh, okay.
That's what you're going to be. But yeah, that's what we got going on. We have a lot to talk about today, Jeff Hawkins.
Do we? Okay.
We do. We have Sami Zayn's Raw debut.
Mm-hmm. Well,
we have
not really his debut. It's his second match on Raw.
Oh, that's right. He was in the tag team match that one time.
Yes.
Was he in that tag team match?
Yeah, to hype the first match against or to hype the Fatal 4-Way.
Oh. For some reason I don't remember him in it. I mean, I'm sure you're right. Tyler Breeze was in it for sure. Adrian Neville was in it. Tyson Kidd.
Tyson Kidd and
Sami Zayn was in it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Who knew? Well, you did.
I did.
And probably many others.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
But I've forgotten completely. So, and this may be a case where Sami Zayn showed up on this Raw because they're in Montreal, because you have NXT TakeOver coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not any plans to, have him on Raw again anytime soon, most likely, right?
I really, if you're going to make NXT a touring brand, you got to keep stars down at NXT, don't you?
You do. Every once in a while, putting some on Raw so that the fans at least know who's coming. That's never heard of before.
I mean, there's a problem inherent in that these guys don't get paid unless they get put up on the main roster. Yeah. That's the problem I have. And if you're gonna turn NXT into a touring brand, pay the people. You gotta start paying them.
Pay them. Gotta start paying them. That's true. You do have to start doing that.
Well, I mean, better than a developmental deal would give you. You know what I mean?
But we're gonna talk about Zayn. We're gonna talk about Lana today.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk a little of Dean Ambrose getting added to the main event of Payback. Which is a very important show, quite possibly the most important payback in the history of WWE. Quite possibly. We're going to talk about the rise of the tag teams, as it became clear, at least to me, that Payback is going to feature a tag team title rematch and not any type of four-way. And then we are going to talk about match number 79 on our top 100 countdown. Both of us watched Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus from Extreme Rules 2012, which is the same show as Brock Lesnar's return against John Cena. But the World Heavyweight title was on the line as well in a WrestleMania rematch. So we're going to talk about that. Of course, the teaser number 2 for this podcast project is coming up after that. We're also going to have a couple of questions from the listeners that were submitted at Shake Them Ropes on Twitter. You can catch us at shakethemropes.com, voicesofwrestling.com, All of the ways to subscribe to us are up there at shakethemropes.com. But let's get into this Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn arrived. He didn't quite conquer, losing in a U.S. Championship challenge match. And the question is now, there are some out there claiming that Sami Zayn was buried. And Jeff Hawkins, you and I must call out these fools and tell them why they are wrong. I'll let you go first.
Oh. You feel more strongly about that than I do.
They are so. Don't be one of those people.
I'm not. I'm going to tamper it a bit though.
Oh Jesus!
Because I don't. Well, here's my.
You know what? I'll start because I'm going to be super positive guy in this because this was awesome. Sami Zayn comes out in Montreal. He's the Montreal hometown kid. He gets the intro from Bret the Hitman Hart. You have the little segue there with Heath Slater, which was incredible because Heath Slater is awesome too.
Heath Slater is so fantastic. I can't even begin, but continue.
Heath Slater looks like what Sami Zayn would look like if Sami Zayn decided to be a grunge fan doing a lot of meth.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Sami Zayn would look like, is Heath Slater. But you have all that. You have Sami Zayn coming out to a monstrous reaction. These people knew who was coming out. They wanted Sami Zayn to come out. They were doing the Olay chants before even announcing Sami Zayn. They knew what was up. And then he proceeds to have not a classic match by any means with John Cena, but a much better match with John Cena than John Cena had in his debut against Kurt Angle. And we go all the way back to John Cena in the Olympic Challenge with Kurt Angle. John Cena's debut match. Goes in there with the top guy, loses, but looks respectable, gets promoted by the announcers. This was Sami Zayn here in 2015 in the same situation. So what? He didn't win the title. Okay? A month ago, we were talking about how the U.S. title doesn't matter anyway and how we didn't want our favorites to win that belt. So what's changed? John Cena winning a couple matches? That hasn't changed anything. Sami Zayn is in there with the top guy, looks great, is getting huge crowd reactions in Montreal. This was a win of a segment. The only downside, of course, was the fact that Sami Zayn hurt his shoulder doing his entrance on this show.
Yeah, and I think that's a bigger hurt than we may even give it credit for down the line. But I'm going to agree with it's a win of a segment. I don't think it's as big of a win as other people do. I don't think it's a burial by any means. And God knows the thing that everybody should be really building up here is that Sami Zayn did this injured. I mean, that's just fantastic that he gutted it through.
He's a tough guy.
To be honest with you.
You can tell.
I mean, especially with all the drops that he had on that shoulder over the course of the match. Here's my issue. And yeah, you can compare it to the John Cena debut. I think that's far too high praise because the business was hotter when John Cena debuted. Here's my issue. And I was thinking about this and I was going to bring this up on the show anyways. Do people really in 2015, because we've had the same thing with Neville now, do they get over with a quality, hard-fought loss against a star? I think wins are the only thing that matter. And I think it's harder to build a star after you've debuted guys and you've kind of given them either losses or 50-50 booking and then going, okay, now they've done their time, they've paid their dues, now we can heat them up. By the time you get around to heating them up, the audience already knows, well, they're just kind of guys. They're not, I mean, audiences are conditioned. And when I'm not saying you push Sami Zayn as a mega superstar. I'm not saying that at all. So don't get me wrong, and don't make me, or don't think that I'm saying he should have had the win here against Cena. I'm saying that the loss here doesn't do him any good. It really doesn't to me. I mean, he had a great match. Okay, let me backtrack before you jump down my throat. It does him some good.
Yeah.
It does him some good.
The fact that he was in there going toe-to-toe with John Cena. Rusev lost to him. People can lose to John Cena and be fine. And Sami Zayn isn't debuting here and losing to Triple H. He's not coming in here and losing to Luke Harper.
Right, but I mean, he comes in, he loses to John Cena, and he gets a win over Fandango, and it means nothing. It really doesn't.
I don't think the wins mean as much. Obviously, wins and losses don't mean as much anymore because they aren't pushing that way.
I agree. You know what matters? Clean wins. Clean wins matter.
Clean wins every once in a while.
Well, I mean, look at Seth Rollins. Nobody looks at him as a legitimate champion because all of his wins are, distraction or J&J Security or Kane or whatnot. I mean, he hasn't had has he? Has he had a quality clean win yet as champion?
I can't think of one at the moment.
So how are we going to remember Seth Rollins as champion then?
Remember the WrestleMania moment that WWE doesn't want you to remember because it featured the curb stomp.
Right.
But anyway, Sami Zayn.
Okay.
This is, in effect, his Raw debut. That's what they were pushing it as. So as far as the four-way goes, matches are forgotten. The next time he's on Raw, if it's months away because he's still in NXT, if he shows up on Raw, that'll be his Raw debut.
Yeah, and he'll have a huge pop then. His popularity is transcendent.
And that's why I think that this guy didn't need to come in and get a win over John Cena, didn't need to come in and get a win over anyone. I think the moment being in there with John Cena was bigger than him coming in and getting a win over a guy like Heath Slater or Luke Harper. I think that moment was bigger for that. More people will remember it because he was in there with John Cena. And you give this guy a platform for the future.
Let me posit this then. With Sami Zayn, you can do that. With another guy, I don't know if you can.
Right, but we're talking about Sami Zayn here.
No, I know that. But it just seems...
Not every situation is the same, Like, Sami Zayn can come in here and debut a different way than a Finn Balor can.
I understand that, but you have a certain perfect storm here where you're in Montreal and you have a hot crowd chanting for him.
Yeah.
Give him the win. Make him seem like something to the TV audience so that when they go out around, oh my God, this is the guy that got that big win on that Montreal show, and people think he's something. Because as much as I love NXT and as much as you love NXT, it's a network show that to the mainstream fan,
right,
not really that much. I mean, this is when you debut a guy, you debut him, you make him look like something.
But they weren't debuting him here.
No, well, you just said it was his debut.
Well, it was profiled as his debut, but were they debuting him here? No, because he won't be on Raw the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
He likely won't.
No, I'll back down from the point.
Right. I don't think he'll be on Raw for a while. I think NXT is it. Maybe they'll bring him back after TakeOver, May 20th. Maybe he's hurt and he'll be out for, some time and he won't be able to wrestle at TakeOver.
I maintain they're not going to bring him back. I maintain that they're keeping a lot of these guys down on NXT for the foreseeable future so that they can get a touring brand. And the same with the Divas because the Divas are a drawing point.
But again, I just think that, the people, first of all, next Monday on Raw, no one's going to remember that the last Raw was in Montreal. They're going to remember the pop that Sami Zayn got. They're going to remember the fact that Sami Zayn was in there with John Cena. I don't think he had to win that match. I think it was a bigger moment just being there than winning against anyone else on the Raw. Maybe the only one he could have beaten and been made important might have been Randy Orton. And let's look at Dean Ambrose, the Raw after WrestleMania. Dean Ambrose, who's in the main event of Payback, by the way, lost to John Cena in a U.S. title challenge match on the Raw after. His reward, world title shot.
Yeah, but hold on. That's also different because that's the first quote unquote U.S. Open challenge. It was something different. It was a longer match. And it rehabbed Dean Ambrose a bit. I'll give it that, but I don't, it was good for, since I'm sounding far more negative than I ever wanted to sound, it was good for Sami Zayn.
It was overall. Good for Sami Zayn.
I just don't think it was as good as it could have been. How about that? There we go.
Sometimes I think we got to stop, waiting for the perfect scenario. Because honestly, I mean, this might have been as close to me. This might have been as close to the perfect scenario as you possibly could have had, unless it could have been more perfect if he was going to be on Raw the next week. Start getting wins.
And then you can build on it. Yeah, we don't know how they're planning him, so we have to judge it in a vacuum. And I get that too. Don't get me wrong, listeners. Don't send me angry tweets. It's in a vacuum.
Say John Cena is the U.S. champion going into SummerSlam or a pay-per-view thereafter, and Sami Zayn is back on Raw getting wins against some of these guys. You don't tell me that they can build up for a month the fact that Sami Zayn has beaten everyone, but his first match he has not avenged against John Cena, and you put John Cena and Sami Zayn on pay-per-view? Will that happen?
No.
Oh, it could. I don't think so. It could, but a lot of the times we'll take the let's see what next week will bring approach, because looking at one thing, I mean, when you look at the first act of a story and don't care what's coming in Act 2 or Act 3, you can't really judge the story yet. And the Sami Zayn story has just started.
That's a fair point. And I'm coming in from the point of view that I haven't heard that Sami Zayn's being brought up. So
I hope he is okay to wrestle at TakeOver. I mean, he worked that match. He'll probably be in pain. I just hope it's not one of those things where they have to make sure he's 100% before he, comes back in the ring. I have some hope that he finished that match, but we shall see. Lana last night on Raw did the little subtle yet not so subtle dropping of the accent backstage with Fandango in speaking.
They're gonna say she suffers from Stockholm syndrome, don't they? Aren't they? That's the move.
I don't know if that's going to be it, or the fact that just because she was with Rusev, she was playing the role because that was her entry into whether it was WWE or the Rusev camp. This could all be a giant swerve too, and Lana helps Rusev win at Payback, by the way, because it is so not subtle. And it's so quick. Like, we hear all these things about how Lana's the golden child for the next, several months into the next year. But what do they do with the women of WWE? The last golden child woman of WWE was AJ Lee. You don't think they're a little hesitant to make another one?
Keep trying. She wasn't blonde.
Wasn't blonde. And the last one they had of that was Trish Stratus, and it's been a while, and maybe they want to make another Trish Stratus, but it's not like Trish was ever at the top of the food chain as far as storylines go. It's not like she was ever the top drawing card of any program.
Is this Sable Marrow 2015?
It certainly seems like it right now. It
okay.
does. But hopefully Rusev and Lana have a stronger bedrock.
Oh, God. I hope they're not doing that because of this. I hope they're not. I'm not going to say they are.
I just think they want to split up the act because I think they see money in Lana by herself, and Rusev can be a heel with or without the woman. I would like to see the act stay.
Okay, how is WWE going to make money with someone who is a non-player character?
Well, that's the interesting dilemma they have is, do they want to make her a face of WWE and she's the one who gets mainstream attention?
She's going to be the new director of operations, isn't she?
I mean, she could do something like that. She can be in authority role. She could wrestle. I mean, we could see Lana the wrestler at some point.
Okay.
I don't really quite see that either. But you're either going to have the split here, or, I mean, me going out on a limb with these two options, you're either going to have the split here, or it's going to be one giant swerve, and that's the way Rusev gets his title back.
Which we brought in. I had a scenario in my mind where they make some stipulation where if Lana says I quit, she quits on behalf of Rusev, and so she gets so mad that she says I quit, which gets her both the big face pop and also screws Rusev at the same time, and thus a star is born. But
there's a number of different ways that they can go with this. I think the most likely, and everyone suspects, is that this is going to be the breakup here at Payback. But I wouldn't be so fast because they can always make Lana the big. They can always make Lana the big star in the future.
Yeah, they can make that. Yeah,
by keeping her here,
and they could make her. Or they can make her a games master type of person where she just manipulated all these little pieces around, and then boom, now she's like this criminal mastermind type thing, which would also make her a bigger star, to be honest with you, if you go more full in on her heelness.
Which she's been before.
Yeah.
They have a ready-made story. I mean, let's remember here that back in Survivor Series time, Rusev agreed to join Team Authority.
Mm-hmm. And Stephanie dressed down.
So they owed her. Yeah. All these people talking about how Lana had to do favors for someone in power to get Rusev the rematch. They owed her.
That's just what we need, is a Stephanie Lana angle, isn't it?
I would love it. Mm-hmm. Anything with Stephanie. I need more Stephanie on TV.
Mm.
Dean Ambrose is in the main event at Payback. It's now a 4-way. Dean Ambrose beat Seth Rollins cleanly.
Yeah.
To enter into this. This came out of nowhere, huh?
Very interesting, isn't it?
Came out of nowhere. And now we have all three members of the Shield in a match for the first time, as far as I can recall. Maybe it's not. But as far as a single situation here, where it's not been 2 against 1 and the other, or whatever the case may be, you're on a single situation there with Randy Orton. You got the 4-way at Payback. A very easy way for Rollins to kind of pin Ambrose if they want to keep the title on him and not, have Reigns or Orton go down. And that's what it seems to me, no? That this is Ambrose's match to take the fall.
No, I think that's the obvious move. Now, they've been swerving us on on expectations, which is a good thing. But no, it's interesting that they lost the blood feud aspect of Ambrose and Rollins real quick when they made the match. But
now he's got a title chance now, and maybe Ambrose is smartened up. Maybe he wanted to make sure he wrestled that match and didn't DQ anything, or he wanted in this title, because the way to hurt Seth Rollins is to take that title away.
Right, and don't get me wrong, I love the idea of this being a Dusty beatdown, where you in the old school where you had the Ole Anderson angle where he was the partner and he and the Russians just beat on Dusty when the match started. I'd love that, but it's not going to happen. It's actually a kind of a perfect four-way. I mean, everybody's going, well, who's going to turn? Who's going to turn? You don't need anybody to turn, because both Ambrose and Orton kind of play that tweener who plays by his own rules.
Well, no one's going to turn. You're gonna have all of them chasing after Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is going to sneak away, and you're going to have wrestle. At some point, Ambrose and Reigns won't get on the same page, or most likely Ambrose and Orton won't get on the same page. Right. At some point, Reigns accidentally spears Ambrose. I'm thinking a kind of quirky spear onto Ambrose, and then Rollins dumps Reigns and pins Ambrose is probably the finish here.
Yeah.
We're only one Raw away from this show, by the way. Like, they have one more week to set it up.
Next week, Orton accidentally RKOs Reigns because he took the spear this time. Speaking of swerved expectations, I was quite pleased that the New Day did not lose to Orton and Reigns, as is the WWE playbook with tag champs versus main event stars.
Yeah. Well, it's 3-on-2. Usually the one with 2 wins. Not this time.
Yeah, but still, and also, or they'd make the uneasy partners win the tag champs, which you and I have talked about before. It drives me insane. I liked that they brought out the New Day for the top of the hour segment.
Yeah. I
think that's how you get guys to be taken seriously in 2015 in terms of mid-card guys that you want to elevate. Put them, build your B storylines. So also just bring them out front on the top of the show and have them cut promos.
So what you're saying is you would like the guys who aren't quite over, and maybe some of the new guys, to be in there with some of the established stars on Monday Night Raw. That's what you're saying.
You don't have to have them with the established stars necessarily. You just don't always have to have the same 4 or 5 guys always doing all the exposition-y opening. You could do a Barrett, Neville, top of the hour thing to begin with.
Or maybe a Sami Zayn in there with the John Cena type.
I knew what you were going for, and I was avoiding it. So,
and I don't let you avoid anything.
Don't think you're more clever than me. Xavier Woods, by the way, MVP of Raw.
Not really.
Xavier Woods was MVP.
Xavier Woods was great in this talking Raw.
So great.
He cannot be a babyface. He has to be a heel speaker.
He was great in the talking role. He was great in the match with that first headlock on Roman. I'm gonna pin Roman Reigns.
This is what I love about the New Day team right now. Their situation, their role, because you have Xavier Woods, who is a little bit more heelish in how he talks now, which is perfect because he is a vacuum of charisma when he's a babyface. But as a heel, right, people just naturally don't want to like him. You have hold on. You have Big E. I'm suspending you for this while I get my point out. You have Big E in there, who is gigantic, who is just going to be a menacing presence. And then you have Kofi Kingston. Now, the thing with Kofi is what makes all of this great, Jeff, is the fact that Kofi is no different than he was before. Kofi Kingston keeps saying things in a positive tone, in a, babyface cadence. And he looks at the crowd like, yeah, cheer me now, knowing full well they're not. Kofi Kingston is the same Kofi Kingston. And I think that's what no one ever saw. When we thought Kofi Kingston would go heel, we were all saying, how would he do this? How would he play it up? We've never seen Kofi as a heel like this. He's not. He's a babyface. But because of what he says, the people want to boo him along with his compadres. And it's working so well.
Yeah. And also, Xavier Woods is a perfect... And by the way, how do you say it? Xavier or Xavier?
Xavier.
That's what I thought. Nobody started saying Xavier until that X-Men cartoon back in the 90s. Anyway. Xavier is the perfect Buddy Roberts of the Freebirds. He's the guy who's going to get beat on. He's kind of the guy who's, quote-unquote, less talented than the other 2 stars in the, quote-unquote, Freebirds. Big E turning up just the false positivity to like an 11 is pretty darn great.
Yeah.
The continuing celebrations in the back throughout the show where people are just walking by and they're still celebrating.
It's so great.
So fantastic. Kane, we did it, Kane. We did it, Kane.
They're in the back. Kane and Seth Rollins are there talking, and you're still hearing Big E celebrate in the background. This is great.
The reference, you know what? I just finished watching Raw about 5 minutes before we went on the air.
Oh, yeah.
The interview with Renee, where they make the call to Duran's Notorious, except they say Victorious. For some reason, that amused me to absolutely no end. Go watch their promos on the app, too. The ones that they did with Tom Phillips and also the other one that they did with Renee. Those are so good.
They're finding their role here. They're finding their niche. They're finding everything.
I'd like them to tune down the campiness just a bit when they're in that main event slot. I know what you're saying, and I know I'm not saying to get rid of the false positivity thing, but just don't make it so cartoony, I guess, at times.
Well,
there are certain times where you make it cartoony and you turn it on and turn it off, and that way you seem a little bit more phony. But there are times where you have to be, hey, we're the champs and we can kick your butt still occasionally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all
because you had the segment, and this is why I like this episode of Raw too, was the tag team division. You had Cesaro and Kid getting a clean win against Victor and Connor, the Ascension. You had the New Day, obviously, beating Randy Orton and Roman Reigns. So what, it was 3-on-2, at least a 3-1 this time.
Yeah, at least they didn't lose credibility doing.
So you have those two on a roll. On the road here, seemingly to Payback, where it's going to be that one-on-one title rematch, and you don't know which two members of the New Day are going to wrestle Cesaro and Kid. You have Cesaro and Kid in a full-fledged babyface role now with Natalya. You have the New Day in a full-fledged heel role, and you had that little segment where they were facing off with each other on Raw, and I thought that was well done too. You do give Tyson Kidd all the speaking parts. He can go up against Xavier Woods. You have Big E, again, who's turned it up to 11, like you said, on the campiness scale, but he's not really saying different things that they said before. The reason why I like this New Day heel turn is they're the same guys, just turned up a little bit, and they're going up against fan favorites, so now they're the bad guys. It's not like Naomi, who was a completely new character 1 week from the last week.
Yeah, the only disconnect with that is Tyson's doing all the promos against Xavier, but Xavier's going to be doing matches against Natty and losing more than likely, while Tyson and Kofi are kind of paired up together in the ring. Yeah. Oh, hey, let's remember Vince McMahon saying he had no idea how to get Cesaro over. I don't know how he connects with fans. I don't know. He seemed to do a pretty good job on this Raw. I know they were in Montreal. I know they were, but that European uppercut spot from corner to corner,
that was
the
fun.
10 of them.
Yeah.
That was
just
great.
Running back and forth. Intense Cesaro.
Victor was a champ in that match. Victor or Connor, I can't remember. Okay, I mean, taking all the moves and stuff like that.
I'm not dying on the Ascension sword anymore. Like, they are what they are.
Yeah.
But
no, I you know what? I could see them getting like a 1 week mini push, like a win over, say, the Lucha Dragons or even the Matadors when Mad Max comes out.
They're more valuable than people are giving them credit for.
Connor and Victor. And they're better in the ring than people give them credit for.
I mean,
they're not fantastic by any means. I mean, they're not the Fantastics either.
Nope, they are not.
They are not. But you know what? They make guys look good, and that's all you need sometimes.
We have coming up on May 17th is Payback.
Mm-hmm.
So the second Sunday. The matches so far that are announced on TV, there's only two. We have the World Title 4-Way. We have Ambrose, Rollins, Orton, and Reigns. And then we have the John Cena I Quit match with Rusev. Those are the only two matches announced. Now, it seems pretty clear we're going to get the tag title match. Seems pretty clear we're probably getting Bray Wyatt and the Ryback.
Oh, God,
that singles match.
What did you think of that segment?
I didn't really have any strong thoughts on it. I think Ryback was getting the crowd. He won the crowd over after the Goldberg chants because he broke. Good
job on that, by the way, by him, I thought. It was great.
But then he went back
Cena both handled the crowd well.
Right. But then he went back into monotone. I'm just going to read this speech, and the crowd saw right through it. And that's the problem with these guys, with Reigns, with Ryback. They give these guys speeches to say instead of speaking from the heart. And when Ryback is just out there speaking, he's great. When he's speaking from written lines, trying to remember, it's not so great. The crowd, they want to respond to the Ryback. They really do. They want this guy to be over. It's the second time now that they've wanted this guy to be over. Third, if you count the Nexus, which I really don't, because he was just part of a group. They want this guy to be over. Just let him go out there and say a couple of lines, and that's it. Let
him be who he is on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, the Ryback is great. We have, what else? Naomi and Tamina probably going up against the Bellas. I think you do the tag match there since Tamina just came back. Maybe you do a singles match for the title. I don't know. But I mean, some type of combination. And it looks like the rematches from the last pay-per-view, Neville and Barrett, and then Sheamus and Ziggler. So you're doing all this stuff. I mean, this is your card for Payback. It looks like it's another 2-match show. It's the main event and the Cena match. The rest of it's going to be a continuation so that they can do the same matches over at the next pay-per-view, probably. And I'm not saying that to be negative, people. I'm just saying that's what they do on these pay-per-views. They give you something in 2 matches, but everything else is just a continuation so they can do it again the next time.
Yeah, and then once July hits, they build for SummerSlam.
Right. And then on May 20th, 3 days later, we also only have 2 matches announced publicly on TV for the NXT TakeOver Unstoppable show. But based on what's happened at the TV, we know pretty much the entire card. What's announced right now is Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens at TakeOver for the title. We hope that actually happens. We hope Sami Zayn's not hurt enough to where he's going to miss more than 2 weeks.
Well, it's funny because even if he can't go, Alex Riley can't go either, can he?
In a bad fate of bad timing, Alex Riley had knee surgery. So if Sami Zayn can't go, I want Owens. Can't happen. Can't happen. Alex Riley is out too. Very sad about that.
I think we're all thankful for that.
Nope. Very sad about the Alex Riley knee surgery. Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks for the Women's Championship. Baron Corbin. Yeah, it should be exciting.
I am hyped for that match, especially after seeing finally Becky get a little bit of a squash match in there to show what she could do as opposed to just kind of bumping around for other people.
Baron Corbin and Rhino. Probably going about 8 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Maybe not. Maybe it'll be quick. Maybe it'll be one of those quick, like, who can win, in these quick battles. And Baron just catches Rhino. Maybe coming for the spear, catches him, boom, drops him. End of days.
Quick question on that. You saw the Corbin promo?
Yep.
Is he a heel or is that just a badass in WWE's eyes?
Well, what I think is it's the badass now where he's not a babyface. He's not a heel. Because he doesn't go out there and he doesn't clamor for the approval of the fans. He just goes out there and does what he does. I think this is one of those where we're going to flip the coin. Where it lands is how we go with him. If the crowd's heel on him, which they've done at all the live shows, at every live show, Baron Corbin is the bad guy and he plays it up. On TV, he's the good guy. At Full Sail, he's a good guy. Going up against Rhino, though, I think we may see a change in that. I think we may see those crowds start to turn on him a little bit, and this might be the start of how he does become a heel.
Yeah, Rhino's a face to the NXT crowd.
Well, whoever is not battling Kevin Owens for the title after TakeOver is probably going to be looking at Baron Corbin. And if that's Hideo Itami, you're going to have Hideo Itami and Baron Corbin going out there. Baron Corbin's going to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
We have Finn Balor against Tyler Breeze.
That should be a good match.
Itami in a triple threat, the #1 contendership. And Blake and Murphy, the Dubstep Cowboys, now aligned with Alexa Bliss, of all people, going up against Enzo and Big Cass, aligned with Carmella.
I do not approve of that pairing.
Why not, Jeff?
It was so... Actually, I just didn't care for the vignette that paired them. It was almost like NXT high. Hey, gorgeous, you want to go out on a date later? No? Okay. Hey, guys, how's it going?
Well, it wasn't quite like that. But
it was like that. It was exactly like that.
To set the scene. The second floor of the NXT Performance Center, the kitchen.
Shake Them Ropes Theater presents NXT High.
It was just so wacky because you had a couple of different situations in here. You had Enzo and Cass in this segment. You had Alexa Bliss. You had Blake and Murphy. You had Carmella. You had someone else who I can't even remember. There was someone else in this segment. It wasn't Emma. Who else was in this thing? I don't even know. Doesn't matter.
Blake and Murphy. Or no, it was Carmella. Yeah, and then Blake and Murphy leave for a moment to go in the background and chat. Alexa Bliss comes in, gets pie face.
Coming back.
Whatever. And then they come back and go, hey, guys, how's it going?
In the end, Alexa Bliss, Blake, and Murphy are looking at each other, and then the camera cuts off, so who knows what happened after that. I wish that camera kept going. They probably sat down and watched TV, most likely. Maybe some Netflix, maybe some Orange is the New Black. Would have liked to see that.
Watch some old matches from the vault.
Sure. But you're going to have that. But, I mean, that screams to me, now that you're pairing Alexa Bliss here and you have TakeOver coming up, I could very easily see Blake and Murphy keeping the tag titles and them still going with this program, doing 6-mans on TV until eventual rematch.
Double turn, I think, between Carmella and Alexa Bliss here, because Carmella's so easily a heel in that pairing with Enzo and Cass.
The reason why I wouldn't say that yet is just because we know the history of NXT.
Yeah.
And they like to go how things should go and not be too crazy as far as the storylines. And that would be a little silly.
It would be, but Alexa Bliss doesn't belong with a heel tag team at all, unless she's going to turn heel.
And
we'll probably the other match we may get Emma and Bayley.
Could get Emma and Bayley. Could very well get Emma and Bayley, because that seems to be building up. That seems natural.
That was another episode of NXT High.
Yeah.
I need my shirt and my headbands. That big girl stole them.
She stole them. She can't get more. I mean, she needed them back.
I still like me some Bayley. I don't care.
You do. Questions and comments from the listeners of Shake Them Ropes. You can comment on anything and ask questions on anything at Shake Them Ropes on Twitter. We will answer them.
I said a question. Yeah.
You did. I ignored it because it was ridiculous. Sam Hurd on Twitter asked, who's better,
Sam.
Alex Riley or Brad Maddox? And my response is there's basically two schools of thought. The first school is that Alex Riley is better. The second school is that Brad Maddox is better. I happen to attend both schools because they're so great. Obviously, I would go Alex Riley because I think he has potential to be a bigger name in WWE. At this point, I think they're both done for. I mean, let's be real. They're both done for. But Alex Riley had potential. Brad Maddox is a great talker, has excellent hair, seems like a guy you just want to go have a beer with.
Doesn't have size.
And comment on all the latest fashion.
I'm more bullish on Alex Riley, but I just don't think he's ever going to get past whatever black mark is in his file, to be honest with you.
And people are talking about, okay, Sami Zayn is hurt here, coming off of a previous injury. Not that it kept him out of, action for too long. But Alex Riley is a guy who's had injuries and also has been out of action for 2 years. Like, this knee surgery could very well hurt him more than a shoulder injury that keeps Sami Zayn out for a month can hurt Sammy. So knees are, as a man who's had knee surgery, knees are precarious things. And also, Riley has the political black mark on his file because of the Cena thing. Yeah.
So, and Maddox they never used. I mean, at least they used Alex Riley for various things on TV. They saw some talent in him as a talker and whatnot. They don't even use Maddox except for like the occasional Easter egg on a Kane segment.
Shows up at a Kane segment and then nowhere to be seen again.
Yeah.
Very sad. Maybe I'm just partial to Alex Riley because he followed me to the Orlando airport once. Maybe that's why. I don't know.
Did he?
He did. Back in September when I was at the Performance Center. We left at the same time.
Was he taking photos of you the entire time?
No, he was not.
Okay.
He was thinking, how do I get back in the ring?
Next question.
Brian at LigerXBomb on Twitter. Will we see Ambrose versus Rollins as a summer program? And we kind of talked about this a little bit. I really see Ambrose being in this match as a one-off, just to take the fall in this one, to keep Roman strong, hashtag it, and to keep Orton up there. But it wouldn't be the most surprising thing in the world. If you want to give Rollins a program for the summer that he can win, put him in there. If you want to do Orton and Reigns or spread those guys out with other people, I don't know. I would put it maybe 20% that's your summer program.
I think they may put him in that June match to give Rollins the win going into a Brock match at SummerSlam.
Well, and keep in mind, too, you're going to have Money in the Bank in the middle here. So Dean Ambrose is going to be most likely in that match, not in a match with Seth Rollins, you would think, unless they want to keep the guy out because the fans would clamor for Ambrose to win. And they do the smart thing and keep Ambrose out of the Money in the Bank to give it to someone else and also keep the distraction away.
Well, or you put Ambrose in the Money in the Bank, you give him the Money in the Bank briefcase, and then he's doing kind of the opposite of what Seth did. And he goes, "Yeah, I'm going to ruin your title reign eventually. Remember when you had the briefcase, I said I was going to ruin that." You can make the callback there.
That wouldn't be a bad thing. I can't wait to see how many props Dean Ambrose would be able to fit in that briefcase. It would probably be a lot. Case Low on Twitter asks if we have any hot takes about the first month of the Major League Baseball season.
No.
Jeff is shaking his head no. I have a hot take just because it's in the national attention. Bring the DH to the National League. Let's end this pitcher's batting thing. I know there are purists out there.
Not me. I'm pro DH. I'm very pro DH. Owners, it's a specialist league now. So
the union would love it because they get more hitters, longevity.
Now I'll make one exception. If you get rid of interleague play, then no DH for the National League, because that makes the World Series special.
Yeah, but you're not getting that.
Okay.
And the purist argument is, I love the National League game. I love the pitchers hitting. I love all the strategy that goes into it. There's still strategy in the American League. I mean, you're not going to have every single strategic move.
Well, it's small ball in the National League, and then if you bring the DH in, then it just becomes power hitting again.
Right. But in a league that's dying of runs, I say bring the DH. We can have a longer discussion on Twitter at Shake Them Ropes if you want to on that. But yeah, bring the DH. There's no logical argument against it.
Okay.
We got an iTunes review. ShakeThemRopes.com/iTunes. You can find us on iTunes. I would greatly appreciate if any of our listeners out there that haven't visited our iTunes page, even if you don't subscribe or listen via iTunes, go check us out there. Send a review in. You can review the show. Give us your little star ratings and whatnot. If you like the show, I encourage you to do that so that other people can find the show and that we can see, your feedback for us.
Yeah, the search engine of iTunes does it by rankings.
Yes,
in terms of how much people like them. So.
And I'm not even so worried about the rankings by all means.
I'm not either.
I like the positive reviews because it gives me, something to think like, okay, we're doing some good here. I don't know. But we got a negative review this week from someone. Someone gave us 1 star out of 5 and said that the host, which I have to assume was me, maybe it was you, I don't know. I consider myself the host just because I'm the one who starts the show, I think. Said I was too negative on WWE and he can't believe that I still watch it based on my comments. Now, I don't think he's listened to more than one show and maybe only a portion of one show, because I just spent this episode talking about how great Alex Riley and Brad Maddox were. I am Kane's #1 fan. I am Randy Orton for the Hall of Fame guy. I am #Stephanie for best non-wrestler. I am super positive on WWE and I keep watching it. I get bored by watching Raw 3 hours live every week. That doesn't mean I dislike WWE. That means the shows are not entertaining enough for 3 hours to watch live. But I still go back and watch them. I watched this Raw from last night today in a more comfortable setting because I still love WWE. Like, I hate these comments that I'm too negative. I'm not going to hide away from a critique if I have one. I'm not going to just think everything is great blindly like some others out there that try to find the positive in everything just because that's their gimmick. I like a lot of WWE. What did we talk about, Jeff, in this show? We talked about Sami Zayn. Loved it. We talked about Lana. Loving the possibilities. We talked about the tag team division, which is finally getting winners facing off instead of, mutual losers who are just there. We talked about Dean Ambrose being in the title picture. How many people have been clamoring for Dean Ambrose to be in the title picture? And it's happening. I don't think I'm too negative on WWE. I think I'm negative sometimes when it's called for. I don't think I'm too negative. So if
I'm probably too negative. I'll take the hit and I'll say,
you know what? Negative on everything today.
No, I didn't. I want to be fair on everything.
So if you like the show and we get
hold on. Let me talk to this guy.
Okay, well, hold on a second before let me give the plug here first, and then I'll let you talk. A little plug time. If you like the show, please do us a favor. Go onto iTunes, write a review. We'd appreciate if it was positive. And if you want to send a photo or, a screen cap, or just tell us on Twitter that you sent a review in, I'll personally thank you. I will thank you personally for writing a positive review at Shake Them Ropes on Twitter, ShakeThemRopes.com/iTunes, because I really would appreciate it. Like, I didn't put it on iTunes, so people can hear it because I thought we were doing horrible stuff here. I don't know. That's just me. Jeff, you wanted to talk to this guy. Make it quick.
And after that, he can jump off a bridge.
No.
Oh, you turned me back
the
on?
guy gave us a bigger.
Kidding. Oh, no.
I
was pretending to do a rant on the video and I just decided not to.
I did not suspend you.
You know what? I'm an older fan. I get it. It ain't for me. Write something that's not for 8-year-olds. I'll like it more. That's all you need. Okay? Let's move on. We're not gonna like everything. We're not always negative, but we see, the downside. We just ask questions. I ask questions because I'm skeptical of things. That's it. But you know what? To each their own. You don't have to like us. That's fine.
I liked The Newsroom on HBO. I like that show a lot.
So
did I like everything on it? Did I like the last season? No. Was I a fan of the show? Yes.
You're taking this far too personally, Rob.
I'm not trying to take it personally. I would hope that guy who gave us the review gave us another shot or listened more than 20 minutes of one episode. Because I bet if you handpick a small segment of the show, you can find that we're either too positive or too negative based on what the topic was at that time.
He might be trolling. Delete the comment and go on.
I can't delete the comments on iTunes. If you write something on iTunes, it stays there. I can't delete it.
So some of you have to write some 5-star reviews to make up for it. So get moving.
I would appreciate it. Like I said, I'm not doing it just to try and get the numbers up. I will personally thank you.
People listening have been slacking. Get your ass up to you.
I will personally thank you on Twitter if you write us a good review. And even if you just want to send feedback, like maybe you don't like certain parts of the show, tell us on Twitter. Send us feedback.
Oh, wait. Sorry. That's my mom. Go ahead.
Good job.